Hey folks, it's Brian. So I'm trying to figure out how my other videos get stuff loaded up, but we got to play RQG tonight. Last night it's now 1:30 Saturday morning. Anyway, the um, the party. We talked through the whole Argrath getting ready for the Red Emperor and Jariel, the Razoress, coming down. So he moves north. There's some skirmish with Brew armies coming out, Snake Pipe Hollow. Most of the Warlock companies get stay behind to take care of them. The rest of the army continues to push on towards Dwarf Mine, but then head more southwesterly to go through the pass at the Falling Ruins, and that's where the two armies actually clash. They push through. They both push through the night and meet in the valley. So kind of have a little a little setup of we're part of the armies. We got Satari armies units on the right, on the left, and we're all kind of together and moving forward. So we're kind of cramped into this little place, and we're running up against the Lunars. And I kind of broke it out where okay, we're at a far distance, so you can get off missile weapons or spells. Closer in, more spells or thrown weapons, and then melee. In the process of doing that, though, Davin has learned the protective circle spell, and so they're loading things onto it. And the way I handle Glorantha is that any spell can go on it. Rune spells cost as if they were twice as many points as they are, because the circle holds points worth of spells. The one that Damon's got, I think, holds 8. And so they have discussed among themselves, and that should actually, maybe it's not. It might be in live play. I don't recall when I actually started the live play. But so it just got okay. This is our plans. What we're doing. Throw the circles up for a whole season, and it can hold 8 points of spells on it. They're doing protection 4 and counter magic 2, or dispel magic 2, and something else. I don't remember what it is. But it's on the circle, and the circle he casts on himself. He's the center, so it's 3 meter radius. So in Albert, we took out the snow circle, and there it is. I should probably bring it bigger because the snowflakes kind of make it hard to see people underneath. But everybody knows. Okay, we can see close to David as we go forward, and we also learned the boon of Gargantor, something like that. Extra damage, right? 2d6 extra damage. Plus he casts Strength Spell himself, gives him a d6 damage bonus. That's 3d6 extra damage on top of his regular rapier, which is a d6 plus 1. Plus he got like Bite Sharp 2 kind of thing, so it can whack some damage. But anyway, they're moving forward because he's kind of tanky now. He's up front. They've got Jarstakos on one side, Rustra on another. And as they're moving forward, Juchi's firing his arrow. They do some spells at a certain range, but then the Lunar's doing the same sort of thing. But Lars took a short spear, critical impale to the leg, so he goes down. So everybody stops, and we go through some of the impale stuff, and taking it out. Regular success, you're still gonna take some damage. A special success, we take less, and a critical success, you don't take any damage at all, kind of thing. And we determine instead of using your weapon skill, we're using first aid. Your first aid skill is used to take it out. It's that kind of thing. And we discussed through some of that. And then, healing, getting back up, and then move forward. Well, while that's going on, the squad that's facing them sees, hey, they stopped. So they drop their spears and their their copi, copuses, pull up their composite bows and fire for uh, a couple rounds as they do their thing and then start moving forward again. And then they change weapons back. So there's some arrow shots that come out, do some damage, not much because they got that 4 points of protection up on everybody. But there was a special and another critical came through, took somebody's arm out if I remember right. But then they go forward and they did some demoralize on a couple of the guys. They were able by the time they actually got face to face melee to shake that off. And one guy went down with damage to his leg from Juicy shooting him, and one of the leaders came back and healed him up. And so I've got 5 frontline swordsmen, I've got 4 second line spearmen, and then I got 2 leaders in the back. And melee ensues. But the 2 leaders have both summoned elementals. There's a darkness elemental and a loon elemental. Now, since it is dying moon phase, they can only cast 1-point spells, so they're small. And they cast control elemental as well, so they can keep control. So there's 2 rune points they've each spent out. And the loon attacks Jarstakos, the darkness elemental attacks Arestra, and I've taken them all the elementals now. I've taken to as soon as they touch a person, they do their damage. Loon is set up that way, but shoot, why not? All the rest of them, So you touch him, air elemental throws him up and throws him up in the air, and he comes crashing down. Or the fire elemental's catching you on fire. You don't have to stay in the whole thing for the whole round, kind of thing. Wait till 12 to happen. That just isn't making, to me, elementals, especially small ones, to be that strong. I've also taken that they're spirits. It takes magic to damage them. Yeah, they got hit points, but they're spirits, so it takes magic to damage them. Just to make these, 1 hex elementals, survivable. I mean, less than 10 hit points, they're dead in a round. If anything can do damage to them, that's useless. I mean, it's bad enough they don't do a lot of damage because they're so small, but to be killed in 1 hit, I don't like that. So that's going on. The loon, or Miriam sends her fetch to attack one of the leaders in the back. They do spirit combat, and Miriam got special success, so that wins, and as a special success, it is double damage, and it just took the priestess right out. She went to 0 hit points, and so her allied spirit is still there, and I cast some defensive things for her. She had a glamour up, so she was going to do 2d6 plus 3 damage as well. And had spirit screen 3, I think it was. So, but still, she did 13, 30 is 26 minus 3 is 23 points of magic point damage. She has 18. I thought about letting her slough it off to the allied spirit, but it's not the same sort of thing like a fetch, so I didn't let it go. So she goes down. There are a bunch of befuddle spells cast at the group, but they're all they hit the shield or the circle, and they can't get through because of the dispel magic. So not a lot of that kind of magic happening now. So they're up front. Combat ensues, I said. The loon after attacked Jarstakos, because it can only do its... Well, the loon, after the priestess went down, the allied spirit cast control cult spirit on it, and attack Miriam, the one who sent the spirit after us, kind of thing. And that madness ability, put her down. She's unconscious for 15 rounds. Meanwhile, there's 2 swords on a guy plus a spear on most of the front row. Um, but with that 4 points of protection plus their armor, it's just, nickel and dime here piece, there piece. However, Juchi doesn't have a whole lot of heavy. He's got no heavy armor. It's all, Kiboli and something else. It's all 3 point armor. So 7 points of armor, which would do darn good, but to get hit with a special, damage is happening. One really cool kind of thing was Arrestra got a critical parry against a missed attack. So she did special shield damage right to the sword's hit points. You'd have to overcome it first, right? So she did like 18 hit points and has only got 12. Bent it right into the ground. It's the guy switching, pulling his spear out. What does this happen? Oh, they did start to gang up on the loon. Jastekos fired a lightning bolt at it. The Lady Dragon cast Disruption twice on it. Yeah, that was it. It's still up. It's really low on hit points, but it's still up. The Darkness Elemental can only do its thing once at a time, so he moved from Arestra to Daven. Daven made his saving throw, and he's got that Boon of Korgan Tor thing on his sword, so he's doing 2d6 plus 2 damage to the Darkness Elemental. And he did a lot of damage to it. It's still there, though. And then the fetch moved on to the other leader and did spirit combat. And missed his roll. He missed his roll. And then she was successful, so she did enough to take it because he'd been casting spells. He did like 2 or 3 heals and stuff, so his magic points went down. Could have given him a battery. I didn't think after the fact. I thought I should probably give them some heirloom type magic items, right? That's okay. I stacked the guys themselves. They're pretty decent all around kind of stuff. So yeah, and that's pretty much where we ended. Happy gaming.